Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So as I mentioned earlier, I am on like a 3-week hiatus. However, we are doing a little bit of, or a couple deck profiles over I believe it was the Greenville Regional over the past weekend. So a couple of my friends and teammates went and they were actually able to get more invites as well as top. So today and right now we're going to go ahead into a Voiceless Voice Deck Profile with Ian Elkins. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? It's Ian Elkins here with Team Power TCG, and I just got third place at the Greenville Regional, and I was playing Voiceless Voice. Starting things off, I'm getting the hand traps. I played 3 Ash, 3 Valor, 2 Moonlit, and an Ogre for like monster hand traps, and one of Ogre was kind of like random. I kind of was like making the hand trap list like last minute. I took a couple weeks off after the YCS. I hadn't really been keeping up with things, so I figured I'd just play 2 Moonlit and an Ogre. The Ogre just comes up randomly against decks like Voiceless Voice and Tin Pie. In reality, that probably should have been 3 Moonlit looking back, but we played what we played and got what we got. And then I played 3 Imperm as well. All those hand traps were pretty much blanket. They're pretty much good versus everything besides Ogre. Ogre's really good into Tin Pie and into Voiceless. It's also pretty good versus Melodious as well. Getting into the starters, I still played the 3 Diviner and 3 Low. I don't think there's any way you cut the Diviner from the deck, like if you're playing pure. Like, the card is full combo. There's no way you're not playing that card. It's just maximizing your starters. The deck already has an inherent problem like of bricking in the clutch every now and again. So you'd want to play those cards to try and get you back in it. You have 3 Saphira. There's no way you ever cut that card. You play the Old Man. He's if you ever play this deck, he loves your hand. He'll be in there a lot. Also, you play the Brick to go with Diviner. That card saved me a few times this weekend. It's kind of actually hilarious versus Cash. I kept drawing it versus the Cash, and every single time it was just clutch. Played double Saravis. I seen some people cut down to 1 of this, and then they like play the Odd Eyes card. I don't agree with it. We're still in the same format as the YCS before, which is just hand traps, hand traps, hand traps. So like, there's no way I'm not playing an engine card that helps me beat hand traps and playing the maximum of it. Like that, like two's optimal is what you want to play. Then there's Skull Guardian. You obviously play 2 of that. I've heard like people have arguments to play 3. Again, we were always just playing 2 Saravis, 2 Skull Guardian. That should be standard. The new card, Blessing, though, that card's crazy. I can't believe I thought about siding this card or not playing it. Like, the card is just absurd. If you have, like, Blessing with the Barrier and the Trap, and then they Harpies you in the Tin Pie matchup, you literally can just let it go. Chain the Old Man to bounce the hand. You're able, 90% of the time, they're not killing you. And whenever you go for the clapback, you literally just get to Saravis, put back Blessing plus Ritual Spell, summon the Low plays Blessing, add Barrier, grab Saphira. It's literally just, you go like +3 off a normal summon Low, which are +4 actually, because you're adding off Skull Guardian too, which is ridiculous. Obviously you play 3 Barrier, want to max out on the Low. It's not full combo, but it is, it's a 0.5. So you definitely want to play that. And then you play 3 Pot. Just want to stay consistent. That's kind of like the list that I had previously where I was topping. I only played 2 Pot and I played 41. And again, I ran into like a couple problems where the deck would inherently brick every now and again. So I trimmed the fat, cut it down to 40, and I took out a hand trap and put it in the 3rd Pot back in. And it's been great. Like I didn't brick at all at this event, and I loved that. So I'll definitely be keeping the list the same. Maybe cut the Ogre to the extra side deck and put in the Moonlit, but that's about it. And then to finish out the list, you still play the 2 Ritual Spell. That never changes. I personally play 3 pre-prep. I don't see how anybody ever cuts that card. That card's almost a starter. And then you still play the Trap. The Trap's obviously what you want to go for off low 90% of the time still. Like, Blessing is good and all, but you don't want to just get too focused on Blessing. You'd rather have the Trap live. Then going in the side deck, I decided to side deck the 3 nib because like the nibs, in reality, they're only good versus like they're okay versus Melodious and they're okay versus Snake Eyes. They're insane in those matchups paired with a low impact. So like, I didn't see the point in me not playing them, and it's also a regional, so you got to account for the amount of just random rogue you play. So I went ahead and just sided the 3 nib. They were great in the side. They were actually fantastic because if you look at my matchups, I played 3 10 pie, and then I played I think 2 voiceless if I remember correctly, and a cash. And like the nibs would have been horrible in my deck because the cash player didn't even she just sets up the bare minimum board of just the cash monsters and played off like floodgates. So siding it was great. Finishing out is Moonlit and Ogre. Just want to play the second Ogre. Ogre's like it's like okay in this format. It seemed like I guess almost like debatably cuttable. It didn't really seem that crazy for me. The Moonlit seemed amazing in my Snake Eye matchups. They were great. So that card's staying. But finishing things out with the hand traps though. The last 2 were Druid Worm and Magnamut. They were like okay. I didn't know if I'd see Branded or not. They're not really that much. It's not that much geared towards Branded. You still play the Moonlits and the Veilers and the Ashes and all that stuff. This is all pretty good versus Branded. But I just wanted to play the 1 mag because I still believe this deck, like pretty much any time you're going second, you put mag in the deck. If it has a dark on the graveyard, like it's a 2500 beater that searches for Saphira to stay consistent. So there's no point of ever not playing that card, like going second. And then there's 3 Cosmic. I like those against Tempai because you can put them in first or second, and they're still going to be good. Like, there's a lot of times for me at least, I was playing the guessing game. My opponent, I didn't know what I was going to be going, either second or first. They're blankly good going first because they hit the field spell, and they're blankly good going second because they hit all the floods that are behind seals. Still play 3 talents. Like, it's a hand trap format. Your deck usually can beat 1 hand trap, so there's no point. If your deck can like naturally beat 1 hand trap, then you should probably just be playing talents that look at the hand. Then I played Anti-Spell. Shout out to one of. We still drawing it. It actually won me my my round 7, game 3, and it just destroyed my Tempai opponent. He was pretty shook up whenever I flipped it. And then the last card was the 1 TC Boo. I have like mixed feelings about that card. It's really good into Tempai, and it's really good into Melodious. But obviously the random flu, like there's a couple other rogue decks it's good into, but it's not really like a crazy card of this format. I don't know what else it could be though, so I just got to play around with it and see. But it's definitely I'm leaning more towards the cuttable side. Going into the extra deck, I played 1 to Tis. I did not play the Herald the Heller Herald package. Like there's no way that you're playing long enough to have already used your Treatise. So that like why am I playing the Herald? I'm only playing the Herald because if I draw Diviner plus Treatise, I can go plus 1 more. Like there's not enough sense in that to me. Because you're not really drawing those 2 cards in tandem, like, at all. I think over the past maybe 3 months that I've played the deck, I've drawn that combo twice. So, like, well, again, it just begs the point, why am I even just going to waste an extra deck spot on the Herald? Chaos Angel is a must. It won me, like, 2 matchups, or 2 games versus Tempai. The card's a beast. Sky Crisis, didn't really summon it at all this event. I didn't play against any branded, and I never really had the trap set up to where making it felt very good. And then going on to the links, I played Apollo, and then I played Apollo's for the IP, obviously, and then I played the 3 Charmers. I played Fire, Dark, and Light. I think honestly the Fire Charmer's cuttable. The card's not really that crazy. The only reason why you would make it is because you wanted to go like into SP, and like you're already playing Almirage, and that's how you get into Hida in the first place. So you can already get into SP. I played it in the past because it was really good against taking the Fire Kings, because you just take the Fire Chicken out of the graveyard and leave it on field and kill. But I don't think it's really needed. That card could probably be a Secure Gardener. if anything, to go into the blessing combos. Then you have 2 Dynamondo. You definitely play a card at 2. It'll come up like if your matchup is taking a little bit longer and you're kind of simplifying game state, it'll definitely come up a lot. So you definitely just want to play 2. I played IP. Some people are cutting it because Ogre's in the format, but like, there's no way I feel like I'm cutting that card because that card just adds so much to your inboard. And you already have like a million different other spots for them to ogre. So like they're gonna have to choose what they're ogre. They're either gonna ogre the trap, the blessing, or they're gonna ogre IP. It's kind of like adding to it. That one of them's gonna have to get used. So the IP, so it's gonna free up the other one essentially. So I don't really see an issue in go ahead and playing IP. And then I play Anima, and then I play the 2 SP. You could probably cut. You probably can cut one of the SPs as well. I just playing it from before because we didn't have blessings. So like every now and again, if you had to waste the trap pop, you would sometimes have to float because if you run out, you put all the ritual spells in graveyard and you've already used or have the old man in graveyard, you're pretty much just floating. So you had to like go into SP, then go into Dynamondo, and then just reset the game, and then just do that twice for turns and pray to God you can kill him by then. So I always play 2 SP, but now you have blessing. It's probably cuttable, honestly. You can cut it down to 1. Then you have Almirage, and then you have Underworld Goddess. Almirage, self-explanatory, link 1. And then Underworld, it still comes up sometimes when you're getting talents, and then it's just being a generic good card versus Melodious. But honestly, if you're going second, like game 3 Rich Melodious, it's pretty tough matchup. It begs the question of maybe play books. Luckily, I never played against that deck, but after learning about Arya, after my brief hiatus from the game after the YCS, I think I definitely got to make room for it going forward. But that's all.